Okay, this is a really rushed video because I'm on my way out, and also it is designed mainly for myself because today has been a bit of a rush job altogether, dealing with family stuff and outside stuff as well, messing or testing, should I say, Onesie and Dinesh's indicators. I just happened to mention that I thought something that looked like the Genesis dashboard indicator would work well for multi-time frame RSI. So Dinesh has put a load together, but for the sake of this video I've hidden them for the moment, and thank you Dinesh for that. But oddly enough, I expected the Genesis style dashboard to potentially offer more interesting stuff. I don't know why, and maybe it's because I studied the Genesis dashboard for so long, but this really is making things clear. Now, I've changed a lot of the settings. Onesie, you'll notice this if you're watching this video. Moved all the colours, much the same as I did with the TMA slope, just reduced it virtually to red and green. These grey areas should have been darker and less visible, but it's just the way I got this one set up. But the Genesis, what we need to think of is gaps and twos. So, and what I mean by that is we've got the big gap. We want a big gap between price. That sort of shows the sideways motion, and same with the lack of any sort of momentum on the TMA, but we'll forget about the TMA for now. But that's the same sort of process. So we have a gap, and then we get two red, the top red that is as well. In this instance it's M15, M5, and this is M1, M5. I've literally just added this in the last few minutes because it occurred to me, I only had two initially, but it occurred to me if we want a pullback like this, pullback to the long side, we would, because it is a pullback and faster, we'd need M1 on there as well. So in a down move, M1 is very little use to us, and in the up move, M1 is very little use to us. We want to be watching the higher time frames. So in a down move, in this instance, because we're in a downtrend, we'd be looking at M15, M5, and in the reversal, we're looking at M1, M5. And hopefully this becomes clear, but we can clearly see, we've got sort of a massive move down with very little on the TMA, so we've naturally got some sort of divergence going on there. Big old move down as well on US 30, it was huge and fast. And then look what's happened. We've got two. So we've got a bit of a block or a gap of red, and then we've got a fast reversal, we've got our block of two. And how this works on the down move, we have a fair old break. Bearing in mind you couldn't see M1 at that stage, so we had all this clear air, and then we had a new block of two. And look what happens, price moves down. So we've got support, we can clearly see it's broken out of that area, and we've got our two. And I've been looking at this on and off all afternoon, between thinking about it while walking around the countryside. And we've got our block of two here. But what we want to do is get big gaps. I haven't really concentrated on M5 much. This is M5. Concentrating on M1. But hopefully you get the idea now. A new two, and we get the fast up move. Forget all the arrows, that's just me messing about with the indicators. I mean, literally, this is brand new, and the same with Dinesh's to me today, and I've had literally a few hours to have a look at them and test them. But I'm so excited. I've had to make this video really so that I don't forget half of the stuff I've noticed today. So let's have a look at M1. And I haven't even looked at M1 when we've got these three rows now, because I was looking at studying that move up. But so M1, I wanted to look at the gaps and concentrate on the down moves. So, and I'll try to explain what I'm talking about. what we've got going on, we've got these huge gaps, and we will miss trades. But remember what we're looking at is the top two now. In a down move, we're looking at M15, M5 on the red. Not interested on M1. And the minute we get a double whammy of M5 and M15 here, not interested in that really, although that's a work in progress. But bearing in mind I haven't actually studied this at all with the M1 on there, so there might be some unusual things that we notice and that we can trade. But initial, I want to see a nice big gap. I'm not worried about missing trades here or anything like that. And then boom, we get that too, and we can take the trade. And as you can see, we get a good result there. And as for a scalper, these moves are massive with no drawdown. So again, we've had a bit of a gap, and we're not worried about the M15 changing. We want 2, so that's M15, remember. We want 2, 2, 2. We get 2 there. We've got a bit of sideways, very little drawdown, and it does move down. But that's not a very good example. I want to see these big, show you these big gaps. And we do miss lots of trades because we don't get the double bars, as it were. And we've got to work on that, work out how to get around that. Remember, we're on M1. But here's M15, M5, double bubble again. He's hoping this works. So that's the bar that closes, that little red bar there. That is our trigger bar. We've actually got an arrow on it and a 3CR, and then boom, down we go. And these moves, a 1 minute move is massive for a scalper like me. So hopefully you'll get in the drift now. Great big gap. We can't see this bottom line because on M1 really I need to adjust the template, so that's not there at the moment because I haven't studied that at any length. But some of these I marked for myself earlier when I was working on it. Once again, nothing, and then double whammy, as it were, under that purple line, and then bang, price absolutely collapses. So and that's interesting because obviously I wouldn't have seen the up move here, but what we want to see is a big gap with the M1 and the M5 turning green. This black bit here wouldn't bother me because initially I don't think I would worry about that, because M5 is obviously the stronger time frame. We've actually at this point got M15 suggesting we go long as well, and look what happens, absolute blinder. And the fact that we've got some strong stuff on the TMA, that's why really and truthfully I think this is all it boils down to. We can get rid of the Genesis, although Genesis is interesting on the M1, but I think this supersedes it. The TMA, the RSI histo is without doubt the king of indicators as far as I'm concerned. So, and you can see, providing it doesn't, I don't know about, you know, I've only seen this now for 2 or 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours, and not looked at it for all that time. But providing it doesn't repaint or anything, these results look absolutely astounding. You know, 2. Remember our blocks of 2. So nothing. Finally it changes from just M1 to M5 there. Literally that's the closing bar, that 3CR. That's amazing too. And then boom, up it goes with absolute no drawdown. Huge moves again. And all of this is messy. Not even really interested in that one either, although it does work. I want to see a big area of black before the down moves, so I'll show you what I mean by that. Really, I wouldn't be worried about any of these. We've got a massive area of black here now, so we would be looking for the M15 and the M5 to actually be our trigger, and at that point there is where the I will have the actually I said I'd dump the TMA, but I think I would still like the normal current time frame RSI histo on here, just the original one, or or Dinesh is one that works across changes with the time frame, if that makes any sense. But there you go, we've got a double bubble there. Obviously this is a work in progress, so we may well get more different setups, as it were, different rules for entering. But as you can see there, that was a nice move there, scalper heaven again, but we had a tiny little bit of pullback against our entry, and then it just crashes again, collapses. And I suppose that would be interesting once the M1 agrees with everything again, then there might, and the arrow, there might possibly be another trade there. So the initial viewings of this, as it were, so look, all this nothing, we've got to have that top row red before I want to consider shorting. So it keeps you out of bad trades as well, providing it doesn't repaint. I can't see that happening, but I need to study it at length for that. So at this stage here, we don't want to be going long because we haven't got double green, but we do get double green at that point there. I mean, obviously you've got to time your trades to get the best results as well, times of day, times of hour, but that would be the 5 minute turning without the 1 minute would probably be enough, but I need to work on that because that's the 5, remember, that's the 15, and that would be the 1. But when you get both of them turning and you've got the arrow there, both turned at that 3CR there, that was the closing bar, both would have closed green, and that would have been the entry, and as you can see, no drawdown. So this is absolutely looking, and the TMA is agreeing as well, this is looking absolutely stonking. So no green, and remember, to go short we'd need double red from the top to down, and that would mean that would be a valid, oh no, that's not from the top down, so nothing, and until we got nothing until we get a double red there. That's the close of the double red. That's weird. It's, I mean, either it's a leading indicator or something weird's going on there, but it's funny how it gets the momentum before the biggest bar. I don't know what's going on there, so we need to work on that in live time. But I mean, you know, how could you ask for a better signal than that double bar there to get us into that trade? That is just crazy, absolutely crazy. If that's working, that is everyone's dream indicator. So going back over this again, not sure what time of day we're looking at, 8 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, it is 8 o'clock, 2 hours difference. So once again, we've got nothing. Green wise, we've got to start from bottom upwards, although now we're in an uptrend, so we've got we don't need the 1 minute because we're not converting from a downtrend to an uptrend. If we've got the higher the time frame, the better the signal. So at this point here, we're getting interested about longs, but as you can see, it's sideways, nothing going on, and then at that point, when we get the double bar again, it goes up. This is still a work in progress, but it seems to just do exactly what I want it to do, and this is exactly why I wanted to see the matrix, because we've got all this black. Remember I said gaps and doubles, black and red. Now the interesting thing about this wouldn't have been a valid entry because we haven't got the M15 filled in. It's because it must be part of an uptrend still, and M15 momentum is not printed properly. So that's interesting. That's something we will be learning about. Also notice we haven't got any good signal on the green. So again, interesting that this would be when I am likely to be asleep anyway, 6 AM. So, but this does seem, I've traded it demo and live, and this does seem really interesting. So that's it really. That's all I need to make for myself, and I can share this one, and hopefully it will have some thought-provoking moments for you. So what else have we got going on here? So, well, we are in an uptrend, so 15 double, that would be a long trade there. 2 greens, we're not worried about the 1 minute, the bottom one. That would be a perfect long trade, and as you can see, it gets us in before the original arrows. I have set this to lower numbers, I think, if I remember rightly, or was that Dinesh's indicator? It was Dinesh's. I think this is the standard 20, but I might have set it to 19s or 18s even, because as a scalper I want it to be faster. Maybe that's why that got us in so early with that move, but I'll double check stuff with that. But that's all we need, double. We're not worried about getting involved with singles. Notice how even though the 15's long, we didn't get any sort of momentum to the long side. The minute the 5 minute turns with the 15 minute, off she goes. Just can't get over this, to be honest with you. I cannot get over it. So let's find another short one if we can. Well, there's another long one here. Notice big gap, nothing. This is all M1, so we're not interested. M5 starts to come in, but we're not really interested in that because I want to be on the more powerful, although we did say a reversal. As long as we get a double, we can go long, and there's the double. I know it's easy when you've got stuff on the right hand side to see what's going on, but it does work in real time. So that would be the trigger, and absolutely no drawdown whatsoever. I mean, it's just crazy. And then the power move comes in once you get the 15 minute agree with the 5 minute and the 1 minute, and that is at that point there. And again, scalper heaven. I just can't get over this. So nothing. This is the big gap I was talking about. Black. Then we do not want to enter this area, this style, 5 minute, 1 minute. We need the 15 minute to agree. So got to be patient and all that. The entry, the correct entry, would be after that close there, after that candle there. Again, that's weird that it's done it on a green candle, so need to look into that. Not sure quite what's going on there. Have to watch it more in forward motion. But that would be the entry. Literally a few pips drawdown, and then bang, down she goes again. So again, this is weird that it doesn't agree with the TMA, so perhaps needs a little bit more fine tuning. But doubles, let's go for doubles. So we've reversed from, well, we've got valid short there with those bars there. Remember, 2 down is our short, and then gap, nothing going on. We can clearly see it's moving up here, and then we get our double on from top to bottom, 1 minute going in the 5 minute, and up she goes again with no drawdown. Just unbelievable. So we don't want to get involved when there's a gap like that, or when there's no double. There's the double, off we go. There's the double short, down we go. Just goes on, just crazy. And this is really just taking this at face value without all the timings and the various other multi-time frame, higher time frame stuff. So no long entry here, no faked into all this sideways stuff. Finally get a double there on the green, and up she goes. Similar situation for shorts. Remember, we want clear here, clear gap, black before. So this wouldn't have been a fake entry. Not interested. Not interested in really any of this. Again, that we would have had to possibly miss that one, although using time of day and higher time frames, I mean, that's the middle. I'd be asleep by then anyway, or close, or at least switched off. Beer o'clock. So yeah, no long entries here because we haven't got a double there. Got a nice gap there, so potentially not great there, and then a double there. So as I say, it's still a work in progress, but we don't have to abandon all the other rules that we have. So you know, it might filter out a lot of possible failures, although that was a winner, you know, went down. So what can I say, really? And these are the beautiful ones. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So if you just stuck to complete nothings, those are the ones that I've been studying and got me excited all day long. So there's a later entry than we would have possibly liked, but we've got support broken there that we would have wanted to perhaps see cleared before. You know, support made the last high, so that is strong support, and oddly enough, once it got through that, we got a valid signal and we got no drawdown. So that's it. I've rambled on enough, but hopefully you can see the potential here. That was another one I picked out for myself. All three, or double from the bottom up, and then all three, and up she went. And oddly enough, we've got a nice clear air here, and then a red double from the top down, and no drawdown again, because we'd go on to the next bar for the entry, and literally it just takes off to the downside. Absolutely phenomenal. So thank you guys, Dinesh and Onesie, for the effort you've put in. And I know it's early days, but the potential is looking absolutely phenomenal. You know, I mean, they're everywhere. Nothing, 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 double. There's the close bar, little pullback, and that's up effectively. So and then you know, up moves the same. All of these fake entries or non-entries, but clear air and a triple on that one, and once again no drawdown. I can't believe this. If this works as it's looking on this back testing, as it were, it is crazy. That one was nasty, messy, but you know, we're going to have some, you have to use your normal stops and normal money management. You're going to have a few failures and whatnot, but early days. This is for my benefit, really, so I don't forget, and I will possibly send it live tomorrow, that being Tuesday.